Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Marketing Dude podcast. I am joined with the future of real estate today. All right. Now, before we get started, because I know we're going to have a lot of content to cover, there's going to be a lot of things we're going to cover. Let me first just explain sort of how I met Mr. David Kurz here. So I just got back from a live event I was doing in Miami, and I was teaching the attract and retain formula to a bunch of Miami agents. And this gentleman happened to be in the crowd. And, I got done with my first session. We were, talking about Facebook ads, retargeting, and video. And this dude just comes on over to me, says, "Yo, bro, I gotta, dude, what you're saying is what I'm trying to get to all my freaking agents and all this stuff." And long story short, we started talking back and forth. And honestly, David, I think I was talking to my freaking brother. And it was just very refreshing to see, because what we're going to talk about today for all of our listeners, especially, I don't care if you're a title company, if you're a mortgage company, if you're a real estate brokerage, listen to what this gentleman is doing, because this is the future of real estate. In today's market, agents don't care about the split they're getting from their brokerage. They don't care about the brand that they're hanging their license with. And they only give their business to the title company or the mortgage rep that are doing more than their current brokers are doing today. And that's just better serving them, because what's happened is this huge freaking paradigm shift happening in the industry. Realtors are used to, just doing things the traditional way, but now there's video, there's Facebook ads. Oh, you got to do Facebook Live. There's all this shit going on in, crossing their eyes. And what's happening? They're just getting distracted. So there's extreme opportunity for leadership and direction right now. And I want to introduce Mr. David Kurz you're in South Beach, right?
Yeah, thanks for having me. No, we're in Coconut Grove. So Coconut Grove is basically 10 minutes south of downtown Brickell area, our financial district. We're about 15, 20 minutes away from South Beach.
Awesome. Well, David owns and just started recently a real estate brokerage. But, since we met, I've been checking out some of your stuff on Facebook Live and all that. And I'm just like, dude, this guy is speaking my language, all right? And what you've accomplished in a short amount of time is very impressive. So let's just start at the beginning, and let's talk about your brokerage. I believe, were you at a Douglas Elliman, or what's it called?
I was. So just to give a little
story. Give us a
little history. I came out of the Marine Corps in 2005, and I kind of was like, all right, what am I going to do now? I was a weapons specialist for 9 years of my life, right? So it was like high school weapons specialist. All right, great. What now? So it was either work for the police department or do side jobs for the Bloods and Crips. I decided to not go any of those directions. So I got this full-time job, and at the same time, my cousin was telling me, she was in mortgages at the time. We're talking 2005 in Miami. Sure. Like, you could just like throw your business card in the air and make money. Yeah.
If you didn't make 500 grand, you were just either dumb, deaf, or both of the above.
Exactly. So my cousin tells me, she's in mortgage. She says, "Man, you got the right personality for real estate. Jump into it." So I did, and I've been at it ever since. So there's obviously a lot more to the story, but for a long time I was trying to find my way. Mm-hmm. And so when we start touching on brokerages and the understanding of what you should be looking for in a brokerage, man, do I have a plethora of information to say just from experience, Yep. Ending up at brokerages that didn't have anything. And moving on to other brokerages. So I ended up at Keller Williams for a while. And KW for me, I think, was a turning point, because they had an amazing training system. They had really cool things going on. They had Bold and all these other things happening. And I learned a lot there. I learned a lot about team development, which was important. I didn't even know you could do that until I went there, Yep. And so when I learned team development, I started building a team. And it worked out really great for me. And then I felt like I kind of outgrew KW, or I grew that particular office. I don't want to say KW in general, but that particular office. And so I went out and left to Douglas Elliman, and I was with DE for almost 3 years.
Douglas, they don't have them in Chicago, so I know I've seen them on like $1 Million Listing though in New York, I believe.
Almost all the guys are on the LA, the New York show. They're all at Douglas Elliman.
It's a luxury brand, right?
It is.
That's
It is.
you expect you to wear a suit, and they fit and speak to a really certain demographic. So
They do.
okay,
They have a very particular brand. They have it's a very different crowd. When you go to one of their events, it's a different crowd. And I feel like I needed that. I needed that in my life. I needed to understand that,
Got it.
and it worked out really great. I love wearing a suit. So for me, it's perfect,
I probably wouldn't even get into those parties. You saw me in a suit, but I don't usually do that.
And it's crazy because now that I have my brokerage, most days I'm in a suit or at least jeans and a blazer, but then oftentimes when I do my K coaching, I wear a ball cap, and that's my brand,
Yep.
And so that's me staying in your face consistently, and so Douglas Elliman for me was important. It was just as important as KW was to me. We had built a very strong team. We did really great numbers, and one day, no shit. Can I curse on this?
Fuck yeah, you can.
All right, awesome. So I'm sitting in Vegas on a weekend, right? And I curse a lot, even in my coaching and training. So bear with me.
Hey, you gotta be you, man.
Yeah, man. I'm sitting in Vegas, and I'm sitting with a group of people that are in the industry with me. They're like my title guys and my mortgage guys, and we all went to Vegas together, right?
Yep.
And we're sitting in the pool, and they're all talking about how great their businesses are doing. And then they look at me, and they're like, so how's it going? I said, well, the team's doing great. We got this event with Douglas Elliman, and I was on a new development project that we had taken over, and so forth, so on. And Rudy, who's the owner of the title company that I work with, looks over at me. I think you met him that night, maybe real quick.
Yep, New World title.
Yeah, New World. And he looks over at me. He says, dude, why don't you own your own brokerage? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I didn't have an answer for him.
Thought about it.
Never thought about it. I did think about it, but it wasn't priority for me. Priority for me was developing my team.
Sure.
And so then I thought about it. I was like, look, honestly, I'm good at DE. They're a great company, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, but what kind of support do you get? And then it just kind of went downhill from there. Fucked up the rest of my weekend. All I could do was think about was opening a fucking brokerage. Yep. So that's June 15th, like the weekend of June 15th. July 1st, I signed a lease for this building for 3,000 square feet. August 3rd, we were open, and October 1st, I took over next door, and now we're 6,000 square feet.
So hold on a second. Let me rewind this really quick, because I got to catch up with our users. This is a fast-moving thing. I mean, any of the broker owners understand the amount of time that goes into building an office, doing this and doing that. So let me first run, because I was broker owner too, and it didn't fit me. I wasn't a good broker owner, I'll admit. I'll be one of the first to say it. I love working with broker owners, but me managing the day-to-day, I was just like, it wasn't for my personality. But I do know that when I freaking decided to do it, I didn't go from, all right, let's open a brokerage and let's just do this in just 2-week period. All right.
Yeah, no.
Because you just took out a huge nut. You got a huge monthly nut. You got bills. You got freaking Comcast. You got cable. You got electric. You got gas. Whatever the hell you got.
I was
furniture.
All in.
I mean, you went all in. So
I went
first
all
off,
in.
what was it that made you go all in? Like what inside you? Because that is like, you didn't think twice about that. I could tell by just looking at you now. You're just like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. Which I freaking love.
And so for me, look, my entire coaching campaign, like the coaching that I do, it's all based around taking action. Like we even have a logo, take action, most of my videos talk about taking action. And so for me, it's about you either fucking do it or you don't.
Yep.
You can talk about it for years and watch other people do it and say, shit, I had that same idea. Tell me that's never happened to you. Yep. You know what I mean? And so
you guys, this is 7 months ago from the time of this recording.
Yeah.
Just so we understand, everyone who's listening.
I'm like the king of taking action. Like if I say I'm going to do something, it's getting done, Yep. And so for me, it was a part of the conversation that happened June 15th. And it was once we got past the, why don't you have your own brokers, this and that, this was the real knife in the gut. The knife in the gut was you've branded and developed yourself so strong through Facebook and video and everything else that everybody knows Kurz. They don't care who you're with.
Yep.
And that blew me away. Because I was with a luxury brand, well-known company that's like on TV with TV shows and reality shows and this and that. It's a great company and so forth, so on. And what basically they were telling me is that I had done such a good job at branding Kurz that it didn't matter if I was with Joe Smells. I was Kurz. They knew me as Kurz.
So
And
for our listeners, understand this really quick. Whether you're an agent or not, or even if you're a broker owner, this is the paradigm shift that's happening right now. Only 4% of consumers actually chose their agent. I believe that was last year or the year prior. Decided to choose their agent because of the brand they were affiliated with.
Correct.
Right? So, all right, keep going.
And look, with that, I'll tell you that oftentimes I tell agents, listen, you choose the company to work with because you believe in how they're marketing and branding themselves. So fly on the wings of that brand. Don't think for one moment I didn't fly on Douglas Elliman's wings,
sure.
right?
Absolutely.
But I damn sure did brand myself.
Yep.
And whether I wanted to become a broker one day or just become the top team at Douglas Elliman, I still needed to be my brand. I needed people to recognize my name. And so that was really important. And it got to the point where we were branding ourselves so well online that people would meet us at a networking event or something. I would say, hey, I'm David Kurz. Nice to meet you. And they would look at me and point, go, Kurz Real Estate?
Yeah.
You know, or Kurz Team? And I was like, yeah, that's me. It's working. Wow. You know?
Yep.
You know?
So let me ask you a question, and this is even before we get into the brokerage side of things. You guys, this is like extremely important. I want everyone to sit down and write what we're saying, because you cannot run an attraction-based business, right? You cannot run any business without first developing a brand.
Correct.
And the biggest, I see so much confusion, and I'd love to see what you're seeing in some of your agents as well. But so like the first thing that, you know, when if it's a new agent, even if I'm training one-on-one or not, people who come into our platform, the very first distinction that you need to make is that, and you understand this, all right? You know, Kurz is your brand.
Correct.
You know, and you have to look at your business as a brand, whereas you can't just be like, okay, you're not a person, right? So like my brand here in Chicago Real Estate Dude. I talk about Chicago Real Estate Dude in the third person. It feels a little weird at first, but you know, from the way that I'm marketing my business, from the way that I post on social media, just the copy I use comes from a quote unquote dude perspective, right?
Yeah.
Your brand, suit, tie, everywhere, and it is so essential because you know, you're talking about establishing a business, and you're right. I don't know if anyone caught on to this, but you realize that if you were to continue to work for the previous brokerage you were at, that the day you retire, the day you just hang up your keys and you no longer go to show houses, sell houses, do anything with it, you know that you're SOL.
Yeah.
You know, what did you work all that time for? Because you never built up your own brand. And is part of the reason why you decided to go out and do this and start this brokerage, obviously was for the brand, but you get it. You understand how brand actually is worth something.
It is.
Brand equity is everything.
And you know what I'm starting to see too is a lot of brokerages are starting to get bought out in Miami. I don't know about Chicago, but here I'm watching the smaller brokerages get eaten up by the larger brokerages, right?
M&As,
so it just happened recently here in my neighborhood. I heard of another brokerage who's probably a direct competitor for me at our level, just got bought out. And all of the agents are having to move to the new company or find a new home. And so for the agents that are going through that right now who haven't appropriately branded themselves, they now have to reinvent themselves at a new company.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so for the agent that did brand themselves appropriately, you know, for the agent, let's say Kurz Team was at Douglas Elliman gets bought by whatever, you know, Brown, Harris, Steven, or whatever, and we get bought out, I'm still Kurz.
Yep.
So no matter where I go, my branding is going to remain extremely similar.
Yep.
You know, to the point where our logo didn't really change much when we became a company. We just took the word team away and added real estate. Yep. And that was it. Logo stayed the same. I had people 2 months after we opened tell me they didn't even know I opened a brokerage. They just thought that I got myself an office.
Yep. And
you know?
See, people remember brand. People don't remember you personally.
No, of course not.
It's like,
I mean,
that's what
who's
agents.
the president of Pepsi?
Yeah, who's the exactly? That's a perfect analogy. Wow, super, super powerful. All right, so other than knowing that you wanted to build brand equity, right, and establish this brand, you already know you could do it because you had, you know, you have different systems. We'll get into your coaching and the different stuff and the different systems that you're now sharing with your agents. But what were you planning to do that you that you literally had no hesitation. Like what kind of systems, what kind of support were you planning to put in your brokerage where you signed a 3,000 square foot lease in 2 weeks? You know what I mean?
So we had already had certain things going on. For instance, we already had a weekly radio show, and that was already helping our brand. We already had a strong presence online through social media and with our websites. So that was already a good branding status for us, right? Mm-hmm. So immediately off the bat, when hiring agents, we were telling them, you're joining a company that's been brand established for a long time, regardless of when we opened our doors.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, we opened our doors, let's say a week ago, but the brand has been developed over a period of years. This is not, it's not a week old. And so it's not like I was Kurz team for, 5 years and then came and opened up 123 Realty, And so I think that a big part of it was initially brand recognition for the agents that were coming in. Then immediately the thought process was, I need to hire agents and get agents on board, but I need to get them productive. So for me, it was about implementing a very strong coaching program, and not a coaching program that says, this is where you put the signature. This is like, that's bullshit. You can go to the association for that shit. Right. Okay. Yep. What you're going to learn here is sales coaching 101, right? I want to teach you sales, period. We're in the sales industry.
Yep.
We're in the sales business. We just happen to market homes in our sales.
Correct.
And so in doing that, we implemented so many different things. Like I couldn't tell people make video, and then not teach them how to do it. Right. So we have classes on how to run live video on Facebook. We have classes today. Today we had a class on how to use iMovie and get rid of your green screen and replace it with a background. So we have a studio in the office. I mean, I'm on a laptop. I can continue around. Yeah. We have a studio in the office. So now we do our radio show live from here. The agents have the opportunity to utilize the tripods, put their phone on it, mic up, use the wireless mics. They've got TVs behind them. They can showcase properties and videos. They've got tables to sit at for the video. And we took one entire wall inside of the studio and painted it green. So they've got their green screen set up, And so one of the biggest things here is, like we tell our agents, one of the first pieces of advice that I got when I opened up a brokerage was, you need to have systems in place that make it difficult for agents to leave. Like it's like a pain factor, right? And I thought to myself, I don't fucking want you here if you don't want to be here.
Yep.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So immediately we put out to the world that we were hiring entrepreneurs. And if you've got heart and you got a set of cojones and you want to come here and you want to put them to work, I'll show you what to do. But we have a 60, 90-day rule in effect. What that means is that if you're not in production in the first 60 days of being here, on the 90th day, you may not be here.
Yep.
So that's our 60, 90-day rule. Our other rule is you need to be at 5 million sold minimum per year, per agent. Now, why is that important to me? I have $1 billion sales goal this year. So for me to have $1 billion sales goal, I need 200 agents doing an average of $5 million.
Yep.
That's our goal. And in order to do that, I know that I need to work my shit backwards and provide the right amount of training and coaching, and the right kind of training and coaching, like your Attractor program. Yep. That's the right kind of training and coaching. That's the right understanding of what needs to be done, right? So if I can get you to teach them how to generate business like that, and I could teach them how to brand themselves and what to do when they actually get business, what to say when somebody says, I'm raising my hand, man. Right. I saw you on Facebook. Come get me. Come get me. Then it's a fucking winning formula.
Dude, so couple things. This is really, really good. All right, so Kurz goes out there and he's first off, he decides to go out and do this because he had a brand. But what every brand also has is an audience, and that's the key. All right, yes. So you cannot develop a brand without having an audience. And if you're an individual agent, your audience is your database. Okay, it's simple. Yes. We all have databases. We all have an audience. It's just whether. And the difference between a database and an audience is that an audience you communicate with. A database is nothing more than an Excel spreadsheet. So, two, you guys, he put in a freaking marketing department into his office.
Yep.
essentially, right? Because
Yep.
what's happening today, this is the paradigm shift that we're talking about, is that, like the videos, like video is just it's going to happen. I wish I had my video stats up here, what's going to happen, but video's coming, and that's what's making you stand out. And I'm sure no one else in Miami is doing videos the way you are. And what is building your brand?
Very few. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we do when we start like a coaching session or training is everyone is forced to take out their phone and immediately go Facebook Live.
I see like a bunch of people like this. Like, it's like that. And it gets people talking, though. I mean, it does.
It gets people talking. Well, not only does it get people talking about the brand and what's happening, for each individual agent, it gives them an opportunity to break out of their mold, break out, you know what I mean? Break out of whatever it is that they're feeling that stops them from creating a video about something important, And it's amazing. I'm starting to see, like I tell my agents, I want you to flood my Facebook with just videos and shit of you guys posting up. Like, I don't want to see anybody else's stuff, And they're making it happen. And that's the point. Like, video is the key. Like, my business plan for this year on the top says this is the year of video.
Yep. I'm only doing video. I'm done with images. There's not a better brand builder than video. I don't know if you're at the vet. Here's why video is so powerful, you guys. It's all in how communication is perceived, right? So how do you communicate effectively, right? I back in the day when I was doing a lot of short sale trainings and whatnot, I hired a speaking coach, a real expensive one, cost me like $40,000, but it was well worth it, all right? What he taught me was very simple. He said, this is how communication is perceived, right? 60% of all communication is based upon the tone and the way you're talking, right? So if you're talking loud, you could get, the way you're talking is a lot more powerful than what you're actually saying, in other words.
It is.
30% is the body language. You're like this, right? You can see what I'm doing a fake run right here. You guys are on a podcast, but if you saw me on video, I'm moving my arms. But if all communications perceived through 60-30 is body language and tone, only 10% of it is what you actually say, which tells you that it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Right? So video allows you to just communicate a lot more effectively, and that's what's building brand, because it's just like, you're getting married soon, right? When you first met your wife, did you did she automatically just like, oh, dude, I love this dude right off the bat? Or did you have to work at it a little bit? You had to make her laugh, probably giggle, you wanted to dine a little bit.
Yeah.
And I
had to play my cards right too. I had to hire her. Right. So that I could spend more time around her to make her laugh.
That's awesome. But the face-to-face communication, you couldn't develop a relationship strictly off email. You have to. It's the way you communicate, and that's why video is so powerful.
I think one of the biggest things, one of the biggest failures right now is text message.
Yeah,
it's like the new email. You know, so and how many times have you received a text message completely read it out of tone?
It is
because you're reading it in your own mental tone. They're typing it in their own mental tone, right?
You don't know how it is.
Sometimes between husband and wife, you don't know how to perceive what your wife just said to you. So now you're in an argument where she was like, "I'm not even arguing with you."
You're exactly right. Until the emoticons came up. That's why I use emojis everywhere, because I do that just to express the tone. But here's all right. So you build audience, all right? You put a green screen video. I've been trying to tell people to put green screen videos in freaking their offices, because what is that really doing, all right? You have a green screen video in office. Now, that builds the hell out of your culture, which is one of the most important parts, because agents have to come in and film green screen videos. Today, I met a lot of your agents after the event, and every single one of them were in love with you, all right?
That's awesome,
And the reason why they were in love with you is because you're serving them. Okay, you're giving them the tools that they need. You're talking about relevant stuff. We're not talking about going to the local MLS and learning how to fill out contracts and, social media ethics and all this other crap. At the end of the day, it's all right, how do I actually get clients? How do I build a brand? How do I build my business? How do I go out there and, how do I go out there and make money, essentially? And you're bringing today's marketing to the agents, and that's what I love, because you're doing it on social, you're doing the Facebook Live, the green screen video, that's all the way of the future. Now,
and you know what's crazy? Like, you can buy a green screen, a huge one. I'm talking about like a 12-foot tall green screen, 12 feet wide, with the stand, with 2 lights, with the big bulbs and everything, for $120 on Amazon. Prime, 2-day delivery.
It's like the cowboy kit or something, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I paid $120 for my first green screen, And then when I decided to paint the wall, I got softer lights. and the lights were $60, so I got different lights. Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about $120 investment, and maybe if you spend $30 on a light tripod that holds a phone, that's it. And now all of your agents can come in and do green screen video.
Yep.
And it was a minimal investment for you. Not only do you get people coming into the office, but you're building a very particular type of video culture because it's infectious. 1, 2 people, 3 people start trying to do it. Everybody else is like, shit, it's working for them. I got to go do that.
No, what's funny is that the first video, like I'll do videos now on Facebook. I've been doing it for 2-3 years. So like my friends don't even post it. They expect it from me. I know they watch it, but they sort of expect it from me. When I just post on my regular social accounts that a lot of my, personal audience is on. But when an agent who's never done video before, what happens? Does their first video on social. What do you see? What do you see in the comments? Tell me. I want to see if you're seeing the exact same thing I am.
I mean, look, honestly, I see congratulations, this is awesome, blah, blah, blah. Like it's somebody who never does it. And all of a sudden, here's this video of them in Miami Beach with the ocean behind them, with a tremendous view from this condo, blah, blah. And people are just, applauding them left and right, like going nuts. Like, oh my God, this is great. Wow, that's beautiful. Hey, you're looking good. You get all those great comments on there. And honestly, that's the biggest motivator to video number 2.
Absolutely. Your friends and the people, because everyone's like, so, oh my God, I'm being on video. Holy shit, I'm going to look stupid. I'm that. But remember the 60-30-10 rule I just said. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. No one's going to remember what the hell you say. They're going to remember how you said it. And then after it, those same people that you're posting this video in front of are people on your social media accounts. They're on your email list if you're using video email and sending those out. But these are people that already love you. All you're doing is reinforcing the fact of what you do. You're making yourself more referable.
Not only that, but you're staying in their face.
Staying in their face, absolutely.
Listen, I wrote a book, right? The book is called The Blueprint. It's Strategies of Developing a Strong Real Estate Business. And so in there, like one of the chapters is all about staying in everyone's face all the time. And so I tell people all the time, look, video is super important for the biggest reason that as a human, you cannot connect with a text message.
Yeah.
You can connect with a voice, but you will definitely connect with a face and a voice.
Correct.
And so even if it's in video, granted, touch is the final frontier. Shaking actually someone's hand or hugging someone, that's the final frontier. But why do you think, grandmothers are buying iPhones so they can FaceTime with their grandchildren across the country so they can see them and hear them all together, not just make a phone call and hear them in the background, And it's huge. Like one of the biggest things that our agents do is we're a big fan of doing selfie videos. So instead of sending a text, what I'm trying to get everybody to do is send a video.
You sent me a video actually after I met you, I believe.
I did.
That's why I called you back actually. I'm like the video because you just connect a lot better. A lot better. I don't know what your tone is or any of that, but the video, I'm like, dude, let's get this motherfucker on a podcast. Let's get him going, right? Like,
look, imagine if you're a broker and you're hiring realtors, right? Let's say if you're a broker and you're like trying to get in touch with somebody, they're dodging you, right? Because obviously we're in the recruiting business. They're dodging you. They're not really thinking about moving brokerages, but you want them, right? So you send them a video.
Absolutely.
Send a video from your office and you say, hey, man, look, I've been trying to call you for a few weeks. I really just want to get together, touch base with you, show you around the office, no commitment necessary. Come by and check me out. 80% chance they're going to write back. 80% chance. I sometimes get a selfie video in return.
Really? That's funny.
Now imagine you're a realtor.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a cold caller. Let's say you're one of these cold callers. Or let's say you're using Attract and Retain. Let's say somebody logs in, registers, gives you a name and number, right? You call them a couple times, you can't get in touch with them. That happens. It's web lead, right? Yep. But what if you send that person a selfie video and you say, hey, you registered on my website. I'm sure you came through my Facebook lead, or my Facebook ad. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Noticed on the website you were checking in the Coral Gables or Coconut Grove area. Be happy to help you out there. Yep. Guaranteed that your chances just grew tremendously to get a call back, but tremendously. It's out of control the way it works.
It's focusing on the connecting and building a relationship to build the foundation upon.
Yeah, put a face to the name.
Right, absolutely. And people, when you talk any online conversion or any of that, people are joking if they don't think that whoever the recipient is on your communication, they're going to decide, they're going to size you up in that first 10 seconds. All right. And they're either going to see themselves working with you or not based upon your tone, your personality, and all that.
That's right.
You know, if I responded right away to like a video and been like, hello, my name is Mike. Mr. Kurz, will you please do a podcast with me? You'd probably be like, screw off, man. You don't want to do a podcast with me. But
I'm busy, man. I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Exactly. All right, let's keep moving on to this because there's a second part I really, really like that you mentioned. So I see two different types of broker models out there, mainly, and it's it's coming down to quantity or quality. Right?
Yeah.
I see them going two different ways. You're obviously going the quality route.
Yes.
I absolutely love the requirements that you're getting, and you're telling everybody up front.
Up front, like, in the interview.
Here's I'm going to give you X amount of time to get this done. You have to meet these goals, and if you don't, hey, it's not going to work for you. But you're making them earn their position, whereas I feel like the brokerage industry in general has just gotten so much to be like, all right, if I get one more agent on board, then he might get 2 more closings and I could pay my rent. Or if I just got this, I could do that. You're developing agents.
Yeah, we just the industry has just gotten to the point where it's whoring itself out. Yeah. And they'll just take anybody. Like anybody who wants to come in, they'll come in and that's it. Like just come sign up, let me add you to my numbers and maybe you'll do a deal. Screw that, man. You know, like I remember sitting down when I first opened my brokerage with a top broker in the industry. And he said to me, listen, don't forget that only 10% of the agents do 90% of the work. I said, that might be true across the board, but it's not going to be true in my office. I said, because if I get rid of that 90%, then that 10% becomes 100% of the people doing 100% of the work. That's how it works for me.
That's awesome.
And so it was kind of like an eye opener, I think, for him as well. But I refuse to do that. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's different models, and I'm going the quality way. Like I want people to talk about us with a light of quality with it.
It's part of your brand. I mean, you guys are, from what I could see on the outside as I get to know your brand and whatnot, but yeah, a lot of your agents friended me on Facebook per se, and then, yeah, it's just nonstop videos. Like I'm just like, look at these people are out there just these videos, and I know that's coming from your leadership, but it's great because they're also building the Kurz brand while they're building their own simultaneously.
Yep.
So out of the agents, you have a coaching program set up in office.
Correct.
Right, and it's a requirement of all new agents that come on board. It's not just like, go pick up the phone and go cold call. And if you make 10 calls and you get 9 rejections, you're only one more away from getting that acceptance or setting that appointment. I hate that kind of stuff. It's a lot of people. It's what a lot of the gurus teach. Let's be honest. That's the old school way, I believe, of selling.
It is.
Does it work? Yes. But it doesn't work for the vast majority of agents because if you throw enough shit at any wall, something's going to stick.
Yeah, and honestly, like can cold calling work? Of course. Absolutely. Of course, just like anything else, of course it can work. And the more you do it, the more luck you'll have. Well, yeah, because if you spend all day cold calling, chances are you might get good at it and you might get some leads out of it. Yep. Is it the answer? Absolutely not.
Yeah. I don't think it's not the answer. I agree. I don't think it's the answer of running a long-term sustainable business that eventually attracts business to you. Because
no, it's not. And listen, there's an agent in my area who is a top producer, a massive cold caller. Guaranteed the day that he doesn't pick up the phone, his business falls apart. Yeah, it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee.
Transactional brokers. You're never building brand equity. You'll never end up attracting businfrom over 60% of this business is generated from referrals and repeat clients.
That's right.
And it's after from my opinion, it's after you've been in the business for 3 to 5 years that you really start to generate the fruits of that labor. But what you have to do is you have to start building the business to begin with, when you started, even when I started in 2002, it took me 4 or 5 years to get going. And I started off originally as call it a transactional broker because I had to do a lot of prospecting activities. However, every single person that I met along the way became part of my audience.
Yep.
That I built my brand around. And I continue to build my brand going forward. This is really, really good. And
you were blessed to have that mentality because a lot of people don't. A lot of people are getting into the business, being transactional brokers because they have to go out there and prospect just like any of us ever had to do,
Yep.
except they forget the very important thing of follow-up.
Yep. I'm going to share with you an email I got yesterday on that topic. As
Yeah.
long as you can find it.
And
So,
if you don't follow up with your previous clients, you don't get referrals from them. You don't get referrals from them, you're forever pounding the dirt consistently, trying to prospect and trying to create new business.
yep.
Forever.
It's a matter of time when you burn out.
That's right.
Not a matter of when. So I get an email yesterday from an agent somewhere in California, and she's into a tractor. She's taken some of the training, and she's like, some of this. It's my second year into the business, and a lot of the stuff here is some of the stuff seems a little bit of time consuming to take the training, and I'm like. If I only could share with you the amount of conferences, books, I can't even count the amount of hours. I've always spent more time working on my business than in it because I never wanted to be owned by it. So
yeah,
it's amazing that I see that quite a bit in the newer agent mentalities. Like, you guys have to realize when you're starting a business like that, there's no instant gratification in this.
But that's what today's agent's looking for is instant gratification. What can you sell me that will give me immediate business that I could be in my Lamborghini next week?
Yep, absolutely. And that's just not how this business works. You got to be in it for the long haul because the long haul are the top producers. Every single agent that a lot of the newer agents aspire to be, whether you're going to a YPN event or you're going somewhere to see this top producer panel, every single one of those top producers always has one thing in common, and it's they've all built a brand. They've all have an audience of people, and a vast majority of their business does come from referrals. Barely any of them ever are cold calling. There are some, like the example you provided, but most times I see those. It's like people that have put in the work and built a brand where they're not having to look for business necessarily all the time. It just sort of comes to them.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. So let's go through the answer that everybody's probably wondering to see. How many agents do you have right now, 6-7 months later?
Signed 81st one today.
So you have 81 agents.
Yep.
And these
79 on Monday, 80 yesterday, and 81 today.
But let's talk about the quality. Because 81 from the quantity is a lot for the first 6 months. I mean, I think, what's the average brokerage per year growth on agents? Like 10, 15, something like that?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it depends on the brokerage's plan of attack,
Sure.
But I know most brokerages that want to stay on a steady growth pattern, they want to net 15 to 20 a year, because they're going to lose agents throughout the year. So it's about keeping a certain point in standard.
So in a half of a year, 6 months, you brought on 81.
Correct.
But you have 81 people that are going through your training that are entrepreneurial based. Like,
yes.
If you didn't have those requirements, how many could you have brought on? How many did you reject? Let's put it that way.
Quite a few. I mean, I could give it about good 20, 30. I mean, I had one lady sit in my office and tell me, well, we have a very, if I walked you around my office, it's mostly open. Mm-hmm. So we have a very open format, collaborative environment. I had one lady tell me, listen, the way I do business, I like to keep it to myself and I don't want to share it with anybody. So it was really nice meeting you today. I wish you lots of luck in whatever brokerage you choose, but this is not the one for you. And I got up and I walked her away. And I'm not going to longer waste my time with that. Right. So we've turned people away. And honestly, I've had people that have sat across from me and said, listen, I don't know that I can meet your 60, 90-day quota, and I don't know if I could hit the 5 million. Like, that just makes me too nervous. Okay, well, this is not the company for you.
Right.
Now, I don't care if you're a brand new agent or a super experienced agent. If you sit across the table from me and you look at me and you go, so I have to produce in the first 60 days and I have to do 5 million a year. Yes, you do. All right, fuck it, I'm in. Let's do this shit. That right there.
Yeah.
That's all the requirement I need, to be very honest with you. Yeah. I need heart, and then people come in and they get it done. Now, if they come in rah, and 2 days later, fucking candle wax burns away and they're all done, then we'll know in the 60, 90 days, we'll know.
Yep.
And we'll have to let them go.
Totally agree. And it's the agent who wants to dive in and do it. That's who you want.
Yep.
Very insightful. I think I have a bunch of notes right here from you. I'm going to put all of these on the show notes.
Awesome, man.
Let me if I was in Miami and I was a broker, I would definitely be at your office.
Man, I appreciate that.
The
I mean, when I first heard you speak, and we were, you were talking to the group that was there that day, and I was like, man, I got to talk to this fucking guy. We're connected. He doesn't even know it yet,
I honestly, what you're doing is the future of real estate brokerage. Until agents can learn to create the value necessary and create their own brands. I mean, this is a rat race down the wrong way. Real estate industry, I believe. And
I'll tell you, if I could give any advice to agents out there looking for a company to be with, in my opinion, commission splits don't fucking matter.
I agree.
I don't care if it's 50% or 100%. I've had agents sit down at the table with me and say, well, I'm at 100% company right now. Good for you. How much did you sell last year?
Right.
Well, 2 million. Okay, great. So you made 60 grand last year. Fucking awesome, bro. My minimum is 5 million. That's 150 gross. If I put you on a 50-50 split right now, you would match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you literally make more money than you did last.
I'm going to build a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm going to help you build a business. So you're not going to. First of all, we don't have 50-50. We start at 70, and our splits rise as you make more money.
Yeah.
So the more money you GCI, the higher your split becomes. And so. If I could give anybody advice, don't go looking for splits. Go looking for who's going to give you true value.
Yeah.
Real value, not, cold calling tips and scripts and the buyer consult and the listing. No, man, who's really going to teach you how to sell, because that's the business we're in, and how to market, because that's the business we're in. Because I promise you, every new agent out there listening, when you sit across from a seller and that seller sitting on a $2 to $3 to $5 to $10 million property, the very first question that they're going to ask is, how do you intend to market my property?
Yep.
If you don't have an answer, you're fucked, you're out. And then I come in behind you and I tell them about my videos, my social media platforms, my network, my database, my radio show, our upcoming web series, the book I wrote. I tell them all that stuff, you're done.
Yep.
And every single one of my agents could walk in and say, my broker has this, this, and they win. They win every single time. We won the most innovative marketing award this year. We won Entrepreneurial Startup of the Year. These are things that my agents get to go and say at listing appointments, right? And so we're the biggest real estate company in the nation. So fucking what? What can you do to help me grow my business?
Right.
Congratulations to you. Now, what are you going to do to help me grow my business? And when I say help me, for all you lazy folks out there, I don't mean leads. That's not what I'm talking about. All right. If you're going to a broker because the broker said they're going to provide you leads, well, that's awesome. Is he also going to provide you what to do with the lead when you get it? That's a whole different story.
Yep.
So if it's like, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. It all works in together. If you go somewhere and you're able to learn the true ideas of marketing, the true ideas of social media platforms, the true ideas of video, and understanding how we market today, which won't be the same in 5 years, by the way.
Well,
you're
right.
Shit'll change.
We're going to be marketing virtual reality videos then. Videos
no kidding, man. I mean, this thing right here is only 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, and we already got the glasses out and all this other shit. So, I mean, look, where are those glasses in 10 years?
Yeah.
I promise you, they won't be these big bulky things.
Absolutely.
They're going to be slip on looking like Ray-Bans, so,
I agree.
Got to get out there and give a value proposition and really, really focus on developing a business for yourself, whatever that may be.
You're right on. Go ahead, please. I want you to tell our listeners how to find you, how to connect with you, how to access your book, all of the above. Go ahead and plug yourself,
Absolutely.
Please, for sharing your knowledge with us this afternoon.
Appreciate that. David Kurz is my name. Kurz Real Estate. That's Kurz Real Estate. We're in Miami, Florida, in the Coconut Grove area, 6,000 square foot office, right on a super busy corner street. We have the whole building on the corner. You can find us at Kurz, KURZRE.com, KurzRE.com. On the website, you can find everything that you want to find, our videos, our radio show, a link to my books. Anything that you want to know about us or me as a company is at KurzRE.com. All the links to our social media everything.
And there's a bunch. And if you guys follow them, see what they're doing. Just follow him on social, or
Please,
download some of the books, and just he's all about giving and sharing. So
go to kurzre.com and just go ahead and click on those ads. On Facebook, you can find me 2 different places. We'll be at Kurz Real Estate, or I'm at David Adam Kurz, which is my full name, David Adam Kurz, and that's my personal, I guess, branded page.
All righty, buddy. Well, if you guys are in Miami, join this guy's office. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I mean, this guy's doing things that you are the definition of a tractor and what we're doing. So I really appreciate your time.
I appreciate that, man.
And if you guys have any additional questions for us, what my site's at, realestatemarketingdude.com. It's very simple. It's a crash course of real estate marketing, service, podcasts, blogs, you name it. And next time we do open up a tractor, maybe you should join that too and take all of our stuff for free. But thank you very much, and thank you for your service to our country, and I will see you soon, boss.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.